everyone. Raphael over here with Main Street Motors, and today we're going to be going through another car story, and we have a very, very important person to me, Taylor Shrum.
Hey.
So for everybody that doesn't know, if you see any cool video or angles, if you see any type of podcast, Taylor is the man with this. So you're kind of like our photographer, videographer, and it's super cool. So tell them a little about what you do here, man.
Yeah, well, it's a real honor to be here on Car Stories. It's a lot of fun. Love the show. So I just started kind of working with you here at Main Street Motors to do some marketing and to reach out to the folks in the community to really show the high quality cars and the high quality service that are available here at Main Street Motors. And, I've had a lot of fun so far. It's a great working environment.
Yeah, actually, Taylor's a cool guy because he brings that, is it the Giga? Is that like that Giga style?
Giga economy, yeah.
Giga economy, like self-contract work. And I'm super excited to talk about his car journey till how he arrived here with the car he has right now. So let's jump right in. Talk to me about your first car, Taylor.
So I actually learned how to drive on a manual on my mom's Dodge Neon. And I don't remember what year it was, but I had to take that car to get repaired because I was riding the clutch too much, so to speak.
So this is the Dodge Neon with the little two circular headlights, right? Yeah. That Dodge produced. And
my mom kept that car for so long, but they had to redo the transmission because I was just riding the clutch. And I do technically know how to drive a manual, but I wouldn't really know how to drive it all that well today. So I learned on a manual. That's important to remember because throughout my car history, I never again bought a manual, and I never considered buying a manual from here on out. But my first car that I bought was a 1989 Mitsubishi Mirage.
That was your first car?
Yeah.
And all right, so did you buy it like at a big ticket store, like CarMax or?
So it wasn't Mitsubishi of Gainesville, if there even was one at the time. There might have been.
Are you ready for this? I think this building might have been a Mitsubishi store.
Really?
Where we're at right now.
Wow.
Wait. It's a Subaru. This was an old Subaru store, which is so interesting.
So it was either the Subaru of Gainesville or the Mitsubishi of Gainesville, but we don't really remember. It sounds like it might have been the Subaru of Gainesville. So in any case, I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was my first car, so I didn't have a whole lot to compare to it other than my parents' cars. But when you're an American and you have that first car, it equals freedom. So it doesn't really matter what is going on in it. Anyway, long story short, I was delivering some food for a large corporation, and I totaled the car. And
totaled the vehicle.
Yeah.
And so, what was the next? Almost sounds like what was the next victim that you were going to get? the Neon, you burnt the clutch. The other one gets totaled. And was it your fault or?
Yeah,
it was your fault.
Yeah.
So you just need to
text and drive.
Don't text and drive. Okay. Just let people know once your regular schedule on the road so that they're not in there.
Exactly. Yeah. I posted on my website at podcastcentral.io. So that car was a lot of fun. Honestly, I don't know how much I can recommend a car of that age, but if you're looking for a really old car and you can find that in good condition, it was a good car.
The Neon or the Mirage?
The Mirage. The Neon,
no.
Definitely not a manual.
No.
So.
And where'd you get the Mirage at? Where's that one?
I don't remember the name of the place, but it was right down here. And
it's in Gainesville, Florida?
It doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
You know how the buildings get change ownership frequently. Like one day it'll be like Mazda of Gainesville, and then the next they'll sell that and it'll be then inhabited by Ford of Gainesville or something like that.
Yeah.
So you can never really know, but I can't remember. It was so long ago. But
was it a big store or was it like
it was a
independent store? A smaller store,
it was
independent dealership.
Exactly, an independent dealership, a used car dealership here in Gainesville, Florida. And I remember that the owner said that it was his daughter's car. So my dad really liked that because he was helping me in the car buying process. He did. And I believed him too. I mean, I don't have any reason to doubt him. They went to our church, which is not good because I should know their names if I knew that. But anyway, so moving on to the next car I had.
Oh, wait. How did this happen? How did the transition happen from one car to the next?
Well, I wanted to keep my job at the delivery place. So I figured, hey, I need to get a new car. So
because it got totaled.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Burn clutch, totaled vehicle. Now you're shopping again in the market. Now, do you remember how you searched for the car? Like, did you look through like cars.com for the next one, or like how did you look for it?
I don't even know that I went online.
No.
Back in those days, everything was much more touchy-feely. You want to go physically experience things, whereas now, you can have a higher level of trust in who you're working with because the websites make it so transparent with the rating processes.
The rating, Google rating, and all that.
Exactly.
That's cool.
But the next car I got, I can't remember. I bought it from you. And you always forget this. I tell you, and you're like, no, I don't remember that. It was the 01 Camry. I don't remember where you were working at the time, but I definitely bought it from you.
I think this is your second time telling me this, and I'm still surprised every time. Like, okay, I sold you a car. That's really cool.
And I bought the car, and it was great. I loved it.
01 Camry. And now, what made you choose like me over like most of the other places?
The haircut. No, I was just at that point I was tired of looking. And to be honest with you, I can't really remember all that well. But
so, do you remember the experience? Like,
yeah, I mean, both times, all 3 times. We'll get to my third car. I had my dad with me. He was a big part of the buying process because I'm not a big car guy. I obviously need one to get around. And once I have a car, I like to learn more about it. But I'm not by any means like gonna survey 80 cars and have like a draft list and stuff like that. So the experience was good. If my dad was trusting and you were going to our church and still go to our church, it was kind of a no-brainer because the big thing is trust, right? And communication.
And for the people on this side, they definitely never want to break the trust of the community. So there's big pressure to deliver and to because if anything goes wrong, it's like you're directly connected to it and it's your fault. You just naturally feel that way, even though logically it's an 01 vehicle, it's over 100,000 miles, anything can happen, but you still feel that pressure to deliver if you're an actual, good person, that's doing well to your church and your community.
Exactly.
So how'd you end up from the 01 to Toyota Camry to, the current vehicle?
Yeah, so the current vehicle, the transition, it had to do with the delivery service that I was working for. I had to have a car topper, magnet car topper, and there was a wire that would feed into the car. And I left the car topper one time on overnight, and a bunch of water trickled in through that gap that the wire was making. And it just totally drenched the bottom of my car.
So did you total another vehicle?
We'll get to that. I guess it was my fault because I left the thing on there. But look, like, I don't know what happened after that, but the water would not drain out. Nobody could figure out how to drain the water out of the car. And so I was driving and delivering food like when I would hit the brakes, all the water would rush to the front and then you'd accelerate and it'd go to the back. And I was just driving just like, what is going on in my life right now?
It must have left a nice smell every time he got in.
Yeah. Yeah. But that car's somewhere. I don't know. It's still around there somewhere, so I knew I needed to get a new car when all that like 1.5 inches of water was just sloshed around in my car. And so I went to Magic Imports. Great guys, 2 brothers. Yep.
And those guys are awesome guys, man. Great buyers, by the way. Yeah. Shout out to Magic Imports. We're not all competition.
Exactly. And I actually went, and you were the first person that I called, but at the time there wasn't anything in my price range.
That's right.
So I went over to Magic and they helped me out.
Did you have like a $2,000 budget? I'm just kidding. No,
it was low.
It was low.
It was low. I was liquidating some bonds that my grandma had given to me. So it was a low budget, but
I'm glad Magic had it.
Yeah. My parents didn't even really know or were not on board with me liquidating those bonds, but most kids don't even know how to do that. So anyway, they were matured. I wasn't selling them before they were matured. That would be dumb. But anyway, so I went over there, and I can't remember his name, but he helped me out. Do you remember his name?
No, the brothers. No.
Yeah, but they were good guys. I mean,
they're in my phone as Magic Imports.
Yeah, Well, that's a Magic Imports, great guys. And they hooked me up with a 2005 Malibu Max.
The Max.
With 47,000 miles on it. So it was really
now, the
good
Max
condition.
has that hatchback.
Yeah.
Right? So you have that big door and throw stuff in the back.
Yeah, and I do a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Especially with
stuff.
the podcast equipment that you're carrying around.
I've got a lot of equipment. Sometimes I found several chairs, like really nice desk chairs, while I was delivering food, and I just threw them in the back and kept going. And I've got these really nice chairs at home. But yeah, so it's come in handy a lot, and I like it. I would definitely recommend it. Now, I've heard from a lot of people that it's not a good car, but I'm at 150,000 miles and it's fine. I haven't really had any issues with it.
So yeah, the go-tos is always the Toyota, like specifically the Camry, like you bought before. And there are great competitors out there, Chevrolet and even like Hyundai. And even Kia has stepped it up recently. So yeah, just it's amazing. You just got to do your research on the vehicles. And believe it or not, over the last 17 years of doing this, I've seen them all have their own little issues. There's no one escapes the common issues. So just to recap, okay, we burnt the clutch on the first one.
On my parents' car, yeah.
Nice. We totaled the second one, the Mitsubishi.
Yeah.
We hopped in the '01 Camry, slushed it like a boat, and now out of all the vehicles, the Chevy Malibu is surviving you. I like to title this "How the Chevy Malibu Has Survived Taylor."
Yeah. Exactly. Because before it was like a classic case of it was an older couple that literally just drove it back and forth to church, and that's
Which one? The Chevy Malibu?
The Chevy Malibu Max.
Got
so
it,
it was
yeah.
really
That's
light
really
miles and
very light.
47,000 miles. And I believed him because I found a gray hair in the car. Just one, but that's kind of what you want.
Yes.
And I kept it there to this day. No, I'm just kidding.
That's so funny.
But yeah, so it was it's been a lot of fun. Gone on a lot of camping trips with it. I wouldn't recommend taking it off road. I have.
Yeah.
But it's definitely it's good on the road. It likes to stay on the road. And it's got all that space in the back, great engine. I do have a buddy who did a lot of mechanic work up in Canada, and he said that those older Chevys, 05, that they will go for a long time. Some of the newer Chevys are not as well designed.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, they were really doing it right.
You got the special model.
Yep.
So we're going to start wrapping up here, and we're going to just hit you up with a few like fast questions. You're just going to like answer whatever comes to your head. Okay. Are you ready?
Okay. I'm a little nervous.
All right. Favorite exotic car?
Oh, wow. I guess Teslas aren't exotic because they're.
It could be. They have a Roadster that's going to do 1.9 seconds in less than 60 seconds.
Let's stay classic. Let's do Porsche 911.
Porsche 911. Okay. All right. Favorite SUV?
You know what? I love the Nissan Xterra for so long.
Xterra. Don't explain it. It's okay. All right. The Xterra, the ruggedness, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Any regrets in buying a car?
The only regret is that Toyota Camry engine would have kept going probably till I'm like 30, and
Gotcha.
I couldn't take advantage of that because of the water damage.
Kids, be more responsible. Check the wires.
Yeah.
Any car that you look forward to right now?
I mean, I'd love to get a Tesla.
Back to Tesla.
What is the cheaper one, the more economic?
The 3, I think it is.
Yeah. The Tesla 3. That's calling my name.
Yeah, that's
It's
awesome.
just the truth.
Any advice, real quick, for anybody buying a vehicle out there?
You want to do your homework and talk to someone who loves and cares about you to help you through that process, and you'll be in good shape. Someone who's bought more than 2 cars. If you can't find somebody like that, maybe go to a local church and ask around. Find somebody who's got a little bit extra time, maybe pay them to help you with that. And if you're in Gainesville, I don't see a reason why you wouldn't stop by Main Street Motors. They might not have the car for you, but chances are they're gonna be able to give you some good odds on a great car and maybe help you find one.
That's right.
Regardless. So.
Yeah, and a shout out to we specialize in a 10 grand segment. There's Tomlinson here in town. This does a 2019 and 20. Southeast Car Agency is another great one for that newer model stuff, and even Select Motor Car right next door. All great agencies. You know, a lot of times people think that we're all these heavy competitors that hate each other. They're trying to like do sleazy things. But here in Gainesville, I'm actually very thankful to be part of actually a group of dealers that have integrity.
It's a good community.
It's a great community. So, Taylor, thank you so much for joining. We're super thankful that you're doing all of our tech stuff, all of our social media stuff, just all the future just podcasting that we're going to be doing. And thank you so much for sharing your car story, man.
It's been a real pleasure.